right, we are at the Village Council regular meeting, April 10th, 2025. It is 7:06 p.m. and we will start with roll call. Councilperson Grant.
Present.
Councilperson Passion. Here. Councilperson Martin.
Under.
Councilperson McNamara.
Present.
Councilperson Koss is absent tonight, and she is excused, and we need to do something, and I always forget what I'm supposed to do.
Motion to excuse.
Motion to excuse Councilperson Koss for April 10th. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right. And then Council President Cameron.
Here.
See, I told you. 6 years, still trying to figure it out. All right. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the March 27th, 2025 committee as a whole minutes?
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions?
There is a typo in there, by the way.
Okay. Tell Barb what it is.
P and duties. I think it's supposed to be P and Z duties.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the March 27th, 2025 council meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second. There's also a typo in that. Minerva Park Pool.gov or .org, dot something. It's not Minerva Park.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? All right. Do we have a motion to approve the April 3rd, 2025 council work session minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? All right. Now, we will move to our official reports, and we will start with Chief Dell for police.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no additions to the report I submitted.
Does anybody have any questions for Chief? Next, we will have our fiscal officer, Mr. Jeffrey Wilczek.
I can repeat what I mentioned earlier, or I have nothing new to add to it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, or does anybody want to relay anything from what we just went through?
Bring it up.
He's going to do it in the next one. Thank you. And then next we have Mike Flickinger's report. Again, this report will be in the packet, so feel free to go and read all of this. I'm just going to hit a couple points. Our maintenance building is moving forward, believe that or not. But our engineer and Glendon Township are going back and forth on the permits, so once we get all the permits secured, we will be moving forward. We also have the 2025 roadway improvement project, which is Minerva Lake Road. The goal remains to ensure that the notice to proceed on or about July 7th, since the funds cannot be requested until July 1st. So again, that's moving forward. We don't see any issues whatsoever. We're just not there yet. They are still working on the lake improvements project. They continue to coordinate with the appropriate permitting agencies to have their reviews complete before July 1st. They continue the detailed design work to develop the preliminary drawings necessary for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers review on or about July 1st as well. So again, they're still moving forward with everything lake stuff, but it's going to be a while. 2025 storm sewer, they began the storm sewer project. They're trying to put together a project that's going to be around $200,000 construction cost to address priority 1 deficiencies identified in 2022, 2023, and 2024 storm sewer CCTV projects. So basically, in 22, 23, and 24, we've done CCTV. We didn't have anything that was catastrophic, so we've kind of put all of those projects together to make one big project to get everything back up and running the way that it should be. And then we also have the Northland Plaza Drive. You would just ask about this. Construction documents are in the final review, and please see task order number 28 wait for additional information, which was the first one, which again, they're in the process of the construction documents. So that's that. So, we're still moving forward with that one as well.
I don't know rest of the council's feeling, but it's been some time since he has been at a meeting with us, and it might be nice to have him at a work session or something, just so we can ask questions. Unless no one has questions for him, but it might be nice to be in a group setting and just kind of have him talk through a little more detail on these.
My plan was right around July, because that's basically, I think he's gonna come in and if you guys want him in here, we'll get him in whenever. But basically, I feel like everything's gonna be like, we're gonna have information in July. And I feel like most of the questions we're gonna ask is gonna be in July. I feel like that's the number that is pretty much on this one, and this one. And again, the Blendon Township, the maintenance building, I feel like we'll have information on that pretty soon. So, I never have an issue. Mike is always gracious to come in here. Usually that's gonna be a work session in itself just because there's so much, but I feel like as we get a little bit closer to, getting some details on the lakes, I feel like it's mostly gonna be a lakes project and maybe a little bit of roadway and sidewalk.
Yeah.
Topics.
Just several things going on.
No, yeah, I like what you're
Yes.
saying, because I think there's like just some low hanging fruit. It's like, hey, can we do like our first quarter low hanging fruit? Because in July, it's gonna be Minerva Lake Road, and can we talk more about Minerva Lake Road?
Right.
And
Everything is bringing him in through Zoom. I don't know if we can do that with him.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know why we couldn't. I mean, I feel like we can put it right there.
yeah, maybe you can just,
special work session.
yeah, and, 30
Do you guys wanna
minutes.
try for like the work session in June?
That's fine.
It's a month before the big,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here for the work session in May, so I hate to invite him for the work session, unless you guys wanna pick a different date.
No, that's fine.
And if that date doesn't work for Mike, then I will find a date that does work for him, and then I'll coordinate with you guys,
Yeah.
on that. Anything else for Mike Flickinger? Again, this full report is gonna be, online under all of the, in the packet.
It's already there.
It's already there. The next thing we will move to is, we have legal next, and Jesse is excused for tonight. And then we have our village planner, Mr. Eric Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Trying to use the mic. Mayor, members of council, thank you very much. Just a couple quick things. Obviously, just talked about the sanitary sewer repair, and the process of sending Mr. Wilczek that email with all the details so he can get his information back to you by next meeting. Since legal's not here, I will happily answer any questions you have on legislation we put forth to you on the small change to R3 zoning. Other than that, don't have anything new. Appreciate it.
Anybody have any questions up to this point? Next, we have, the zoning officer, was that report in there? It's in there somewhere. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. You can always email him as well. I will give you guys a couple updates from that. Just because you don't see something going on right away doesn't mean that there's not stuff going on behind the scenes. So we do have a couple residents that we will be bringing into Mayor's Court. I'm just gonna say it, we've had a couple non-cooperative residents that he's tried to work with for weeks and months, and at this point, we've tried. So we will continue to do that. I just wanted to bring that to, I've gotten a couple emails and I've been trying to keep them up to date and everything, but I just wanted to kind of let people know that we are being forced to start bringing people in because we do have some issues. So, but just because somebody isn't fixing something right away doesn't mean that we're not trying. So, that's my 2 cents on that. So, next we have planning and zoning, Councilperson Grant.
All right, so I know planning and zoning met recently, well, it was pretty much 3 weeks ago. But we had, we talked about bat houses, we talked about trees, but Minerva, Florida had gotten some funding from us regarding that. And we introduced Kaylee and Brandon, our new P&Z voting and non-voting member. And Kaylee kind of talked about how she's been interested because of the recent changes in the village and the recent zoning changes, and Brandon shared his willingness to learn. And recent zoning changes piqued his interest as well. And Brandon is someone who created the community bike ride that people go on, so that was pretty cool. Next meeting for planning and zoning is Wednesday, April 16th at the Black Sycamore Pond from 7 p.m. to whenever they're finished, we are finished, to discuss potential holes for disc golf. That's the fun part of P&Z, is on-site field trips.
It's the only fun part. And it looks like it's gonna be 50 degrees and sunny.
Yes, that'll be nice.
So that is all for P&Z.
All right. Next, we will move to MPCA, Council President Cameron.
Yes, thank you. All right, MPCA had their meeting last night. Upcoming events on the 26th, 2 to 4 p.m. here at the Municipal Building is the Spring Fling. It is not a candy-based theme. As far as prizes go, they're going to have Lego-type prizes and mini stuffed animals this year. They feel like they have candy at most of their events, so they're trying something different. There'll be, just like in last year, there'll be assorted games and stations. They're doing some Earth Day activities involved with it. Minerva Flora, I believe, has a station that they're doing as well. The Easter Bunny will be coming. And then they will end with a color fight like they did last year. Think Color Run, if you've ever seen that, where they get doused with colored cornstarch and stuff. Wear white if you're bringing a child, so that the colors show up, and maybe some towels or something to put in the car if you're traveling here from the far ends of the neighborhood. Arts in the Park registration is open for that. I don't have the date for that, I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. Ron's Barbecue has been confirmed as one of the food trucks that will be here. They already have a vendor signed up and one performer ready to go for that event. Minerva Flora will also be selling plants again like they did last year at that event, and that's here at the Municipal Building and the grounds around this building. Scholarship and graduation, that information I believe was in the last newsletter about those, the scholarship program that they do, and then the graduation that they'll be, announcements they'll be posting in the newsletter. I believe it's next month. They said the food club event was very successful, 20 to 25 people. That was that March Starchness. Starch Madness, sorry. Event that was here. They met earlier this week to talk about other ones to do in the future. So it sounded like it went really well, and that they're going to look to continue doing some of those potluck type community dinner events here in the village. All sip and dips are confirmed for this summer. I know that that's a big turnout for them, and most of us here participate in it.
What did you just say?
Sip and dip.
Before that, there's 3, right?
There's 3 of them.
Okay, I thought you said 6 sip and dip.
I really did.
Oh man,
Okay.
I probably slipped on sip and said
Okay.
6 and dip.
I was just saying, I
No,
already
it's only
have,
3 of them.
I have 3 on my calendar,
Yeah,
so I was
it's
just
only
making
3
sure.
of them.
Okay.
And then Family Fun Night is July 26th. I believe that's at the pool again. All-inclusive price. They said that worked really well last year. Food was included, the games and all that type of stuff. So, newsletter deadline is 4/23 by end of day. That's a Wednesday, so well, maybe action there. Minerva Flora again. We did. They're doing that tree planting this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The trees that we donated that money for. I asked them what kind of trees, and they said they have spice bushes. There are some bushes in there. Dogwoods, elderberry, persimmons, and I think there was one other type of tree that they'll be doing throughout the village. In addition to that, so this is the only weekend that they're not doing invasive plant removal, but for the other Saturdays in April and May, from 3 to 5, they're doing that. They also thanked Chipper for his assistance in hauling away debris and whatnot from their sites. And then I always ask them if there's anything I can bring to council. One request was, could we find some large pots around the building here? They wanted to have the kids plant sunflowers in them. and watch them grow. So I don't know if that's something that we can do. They said just 3 or 4 large pots.
To put like out there
Yeah.
on the side of the.
Somewhere outside so kids can come by and see the progress as they grow. I think they want to plant it at the spring fling thing and then watch them grow throughout the season. So I don't know if that's something we want to discuss. They also asked if they can put signs up in the area that they're working for the tree, the invasive plant removal that says Minerva Flora in process. I said I would just ask if I didn't see an issue with some type of sign that just said they're working in this area to remove invasive plants. But
That would solve a lot of complaints about, oh, they're destroying the green space kind of stuff, so I'd be,
okay, they would provide that. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, okay. And then, April 23rd, the Fair School Funding for Ohio Schools, I believe, is going to be meeting here in the building to do their presentation on what funding looks like for schools. I believe that's Westerville City Schools is
Yeah.
putting that on. So.
Do you know what time that is?
6 p.m., April 23rd. Yes. Sorry. It's hosted by the Minerva France Elementary PTA.
I think that is it for that. Yes.
Oh, and just to add on, the Arts in the Park is, I know everybody's waiting, June 7th.
Okay. It's always the same weekend.
Yeah.
They have made dedicated pages now on the MPSCA site
Okay.
for Arts in the Park, the garage sale, and they may have done it for the Guardian Tour each year.
Okay.
So they do have a dedicated space now on their sites just for those 3 events that they host. Any questions?
All right, that was a lot. All right, next, we will move to finance. Councilperson Green.
Wait,
Nope.
not safety?
No, finance first.
finance first.
You can go first if you want.
Tommy just talked, and so I
I'm sorry.
think I'm hearing finance, sorry, go ahead.
All right, so some of the things we talked about in our finance committee today, we all received the March report. The first half of the property tax revenue did come in. I think it was up a little bit, but the TIF revenue was not as good as last year. We are paying attention to that. We're cautiously paying attention. Positive side, income tax revenues are up 6%. I believe that's year over year. Yes, okay, I got the nod. We did get an email regarding the pool grant where we received $345,000 for pool building structure renovations to make the pool cool. But then we're still pending some information on the restrictions of the and secondly, some more money. OPWC, which is the Ohio Public Works Commission, we have been approved for a $1 million grant and a $100,000 loan. We also do have some money set aside in funds, which is how we do things for these types of things. We did not have to dip into the permissive use fund, which is a plus. But that is finance as I saw it.
Perfect. All right, next we will have Councilperson Passion for Safety.
First of all, I would like to congratulate Chief Delp for being appointed by Governor Mike DeWine to the Ohio Amber Alert Advisory Committee. It serves as the central coordinator for the state's emergency alert programs. Congratulations and thank you for additional service along with a very full-time job here. So, yeah. Yeah, and then for the village, the main thing we've been talking about is additional radar, okay, I don't know what you call these things, but additional speed radar signs, and the ones that we're looking at are very mobile, so they probably won't be like the ones that we have, but we do want to have more because it does seem to help a lot. People benefit from seeing how fast they are really going, so we are looking at appropriating the funds for a couple more of those. I think that's it for safety.
All right,
All right.
legislation.
The legislative business this evening is nothing too crazy as we usually do. We are going to be appropriating some funds for multiple municipal projects. On that topic, the money for these radar signs will come up tonight. We are also going to discuss, moving our levy submitted to the Franklin County Board of Elections so that we have time for them to review it, us to fix it if needed. And lastly, we're going to begin legislation talking about R3 lot widths. So, not too much tonight. Okay.
All right, I'll keep this short and sweet. We know that there's potholes, we've all seen them. So we are waiting for it to get a little bit warmer out so we can actually get these filled. We are in contact with the contractor that we've used the last few years. So within the next week or so, I'm hoping to get an estimate to get those filled and to go ahead and move forward getting them filled. We have Paul Peterson is the company that we've used for our crosswalks and our stop signs, stop bars and things like that. We have a couple of them chipping, so we've reached out to them to see if they can help us out with that because most of them are only about a year old. So since we didn't have Rexon Pool tonight, or Rexon Park, we have 75 pool memberships moving forward. And that's about it. So, I don't have anything else. I'm sure I have plenty of other things, but for now, we'll leave it at that. And then next we have citizen comments. And we have none. So, does anybody have anything they want to say? Okay. Next, we will move then to legislation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Legislative business for this evening, like I said, nothing too crazy. We are going to start out with ordinance 2025-07, an ordinance amending section 1246.03 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Minerva Park. So this is the legislation that we just talked about. It increases the lot width requirements on R3 zone properties from 50 feet to 90 feet. And as this is the first reading, we'll have plenty of time to discuss. You'll have plenty of time to discuss. It has been read. We now move to ordinance 2025-08. An ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for the current expenses of the Village of Minerva Park for the year 2025. This is the legislation that we just talked about, appropriating around $8,000 total for the additional radar signs, as we have heard, which benefit the community so much. So, as the intent is to pass this emergently,
No emergency needed.
oh, just to suspend, yeah. They want to split pages like that. I move to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings for ordinance 2025-08.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Will there be any discussion? All right. Madam Mayor.
All right, Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Green.
Aye.
And Councilperson McNamara.
Aye. All right. Having waived the readings for ordinance 2025-08, would that be passing tonight then? All right, in that case, I move for passage of ordinance 2025-08.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Will there be any discussion?
I just have one question. Remind me, that software, is it a one-time fee or is it an annual fee?
I believe it was one time.
One time? Okay. That's what the gallery is saying, one time. Okay.
One time.
Alright, just wanna make sure that it wasn't gonna come to
For each unit.
per unit we have to do. Okay.
All right, Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
And Councilperson Green.
Aye.
All right, motion to pass ordinance 2025-08 passes. We now move to resolution 2025-09. This is a resolution authorizing the transfer of funds. And this is more of those miscellaneous municipal projects. This is the first reading with intent to pass as an emergency, no request to waive readings. So, that's a different one that I'm used to seeing. Alright. Well, we now move to Resolution 2025-10, a resolution submitting the question of a renewal tax levy for purposes of providing for the current expenses of the general fund of the Village of Minerva Park to be Franklin County Board of Elections and declared an emergency. So as we talked about, this is the giving our levy submission to the Franklin County Board of Elections so that everybody has time to review. And in order to keep that time frame moving, I move to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings for Resolution 2025-10.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Will there be any discussion?
All right, Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Koss. Nope. I did so good. Darn it. Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye.
All right. Having suspended the rules requiring 3 readings, I move for passage of Resolution 2025-10 on an emergent basis.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Will there be any discussion?
All right, Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Grant.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
The resolution passes. That concludes legislative business for this evening. Madam Mayor.
All right, do we have any old business? Go for it.
Any updates on the electricity for the 2 marquees?
No.
What about, where do we land with the ivy on the tree?
The ivy, as Lisa noted, does not seem to fall within the realm of noxious weeds as denoted. We have to fall back to what the Ohio Noxious Weed Guide says, as per our code, and ivy does not fall upon that.
Okay.
The item with any need to prune styles is a different conversation, so once John is back, we'll discuss that and proceed with the letter and see if we can get into, prune that up, and if they disagree, an arborist will tell us that it's okay. Right.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, next we will move to new business. So does anybody have anything for new business before I start?
Yeah, we need to, I think, I don't know how we do this. Do I make a motion to make the subcommittee?
Yes,
Or-
let's do that. Yeah, let's get that done first.
For the survey? Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion that we form a subcommittee to create a surveys for our residents and police department and employees in the village.
Seconded. I agree.
We're all flying by the seat of our pants here, so I'm not sure. Okay,
Do we need to discuss any? Should I have also said that I'd like to make Kathy the chair of that committee?
you can say whatever you want.
I think you can set up the subcommittee and then you can nominate members,
Okay.
once the subcommittee is approved.
Alright. So then do we vote? Yeah.
Then all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And any abstentions? None. There we go.
And
So
then
you guys officially have a subcommittee,
subcommittee.
a survey subcommittee.
But nobody's on it.
Do we vote for that now, or do we just do it? We have
I
a
just have to get this.
You can set it up.
okay
Yeah,
chair. Happy.
yeah.
Sure.
Fine.
Yeah, let's make a movement that Kathy chairs that committee and then
You do that.
chooses some people. I'm making a motion that Kathy chairs that, Councilperson Passion chairs that committee and selects the committee members.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And anybody opposed? All right. And then we will keep you guys up to date on, as the meetings go forward, any progress and anything we need.
We should, sometimes things don't always translate
Yes.
to the, and maybe Kathy's a better person to talk about it, but we've been talking about surveys within the village, whether it's employee surveys to find out how they like things, or if they're exit interview surveys to find out perhaps there's something different going on. But just an opportunity, and also to survey the residents in terms of
It
what they
really,
like. Yeah.
it started with a resident survey, which I guess was done back in 2018, and things have changed a little bit in the village since then and in general. And so it's just time to ask the residents, you know, what are your priorities? What are you thinking? You know, how do you rank what's going on here, and what would you like to see in the future? So right now, the plan is to get one created, approved, finalized, and hopefully out to you by very early summer. So, and then the others are internal, so they don't impact residents as much. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. All right, anybody have anything else? All right, I want to take a couple minutes to tell David thank you for everything you have done in recognition of your 5+ years. You've been my longest person ever for your dedicated service to the village. We really appreciate everything you've done week after week, month after month, and year after year. Just being here, it's a lot at times, and we know that. And we really do appreciate everything you've done. This is definitely one of those jobs that you aren't told thank you enough. And again, I know I appreciate everything you've done, and I'm sure everybody else does, but I want to give you guys a second if anybody else wants to say anything. We did get you something that's for us, but it's for you. Isn't that nice of us?
Very nice, I will.
So we want to get this, I don't know when we're gonna actually plant it, but we would like to leave it on the grounds and get some sort of plaque or something that goes with it too.
It's a tulip poplar too, that's like one of my absolute favorite trees.
Well, I would like you to know that we didn't find that out on our own.
Alright, that's understandable.
I would actually like to take full credit for that. No. He knows better. So again,
It's
like
like
you
not
guys
every
want to take
person I hear at least 2 or 3 times a month.
So if you,
David, I told you this last week, I appreciated working with you on council. We probably have worked together the longest, I think, it's 3.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, you're the last of that
Yeah,
batch.
right, so, thank you for your service. I know you'll continue to do this as you move forward, and because you have a passion for it, and, best of luck in the future.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No.
all right, and this is then for you as well.
Well,
You
thank
can
you
hang
so
it in your
much.
head. I'm sure that's a great place for it.
I know somewhere. I will definitely hang this up, thank you so much.
Again, we really do appreciate everything you've done here, so, without you, I would know nothing about this. So, don't think we won't still reach out.
Any
You're
final
welcome to.
words?
Actually, yes. I mean, I want to take this time to thank not only everyone up here for, you know, putting up with and working with me for the last 5.5 years. I want to thank the village of Minerva Park and all the people within it for putting their faith and confidence in me over this last 5 and some years. We, not just myself, obviously, all of us, we just, you know, take it one day, one meeting, one piece of legislation at a time. We do the best we can. I mean, it is just such an honor to be given the opportunity to serve the public. That's something that I've always held very dearly, and I mean, if I choose to do anything further with it, I will always have the honor of saying that my first shot at elected office was right here in beautiful Minerva Park, Ohio. So, with that, I suppose I will end my remarks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I think you're gonna use the gavel tonight to end this.
I suppose I will. Looking at motion to adjourn.
Everybody good?
Second.
I think we're gonna go.
Yeah,
All right.
just want to make sure.
Moved and seconded. This meeting, much like my time on this council, is come to its conclusion. Meeting is adjourned.